I didn't know then that the single sentence would begin a story of heartbreak, unanswered questions, and the day my uncle's body finally came home. One chilly October morning, James came to our house. His face lit up with pride. "They want me in D.C., he said, waving the official envelope. "Promotion to a higher grade. Head office wants to meet me in person." We all clapped and hugged him. My dad, Robert, slapped his brother's back and said, "Finally, they see what you're worth." Mom, Evelyn, cooked his favorite pie that night. It felt like the beginning of something good. James had options. He could have flown. He could have taken the bus. But James loved trains. So, he packed his bag, kissed his 17-year-old son, Tommy, on the forehead, and promised, "I'll be back before you even notice I'm gone." I didn't know it would be the last time we saw him alive. 3 days passed. Then 4. One afternoon, a delivery truck stopped in front of our house. A man in a brown uniform carried a suitcase to our door. James' suitcase. I remember my dad's hand shaking as he signed for it. "Where's my brother?" he asked the driver. The man shrugged. "This is all they gave me." Inside the suitcase were James' shirts, his shaving kit, even the gift he bought for Tommy, a baseball cap still with the tag on it. But no James. That's when my father decided to go looking for him. I can still see Dad packing his own bag. His jaw tight, his eyes glassy. "Stay here, Michael," he told me. "Take care of your mom and Tommy. I'll find him." He drove from town to town, station to station, asking anyone who would listen, "Have you seen my brother?" Days blurred into nights. Hope blurred into fear. Then, in a small rural village, he heard something that would haunt us all. Dad stopped at a dusty roadside tea shop. Old men sat outside, their faces weathered like cracked leather. He showed them James' photo. The villagers explained that someone had fallen off the train in the dead of night. The body was badly injured, so badly that no one could recognize the man. There were no ID cards, no wallet. So, they buried him. Dad stood listening, his breath shallow. "Where did you bury him?" he whispered. "They took him to the edge of the village, to a small plot of earth marked with a wooden stick. We didn't know his name," one villager said quietly. "We just didn't want him to lie on the tracks." My dad's knees almost gave out. It was James. That night, my father sat in his motel room, staring at his hands. "How do you call your family and tell them you've found your brother's grave, but he's buried under the wrong name, a stranger in the ground?" My father couldn't leave James there. He contacted the authorities, went through paperwork, and after days of pleading, finally got permission to exhume the body. As my father watched the first spade of dirt lift from James' grave, he whispered, "I'm taking you home, brother." But none of us, not me, not my father, not even James' son, were ready for what would happen when that coffin arrived at our doorstep. That is where the real heartbreak began. The village graveyard was quiet when they began. Only the sound of the wind and the scrape of shovels broke the silence. My father, Robert, stood beside 2 local workers, his boots sinking into the mud. He couldn't take his eyes off the ground. "Be careful," he told them, his voice cracking. The shovel hit wood, a dull, hollow thud. Everyone froze. Slowly, they lifted the coffin out of the earth. It was plain, unmarked, and covered in soil. My father ran his hand over the lid, whispering, "I've got you, James. You're not staying here." The authorities signed the paperwork. My father loaded the coffin into a rented van. It was a long drive home. Hours passed. The sun rose and fell. The headlights cut through the dark highway. Inside the van, there was only silence, except for my father's breathing and the low hum of the engine. He kept glancing at the coffin in the rearview mirror. When the van finally pulled up in front of our house, the whole street had gathered. Neighbors, friends, even strangers, stood outside, their faces pale, their eyes wide. I remember opening the front door and seeing the van's back doors swing open. 2 men carefully carried out the coffin. My mother, Evelyn, gasped and grabbed the door frame to steady herself. But the sound that broke everyone's heart came from the porch. 17-year-old Tommy Parker, James' youngest son, stepped forward. He had been holding back his tears for days, refusing to believe his father was gone. But the moment he saw that coffin, something inside him shattered. He fell to his knees, his hands clawing at the wood. "Dad, no, you can't leave me here. Take me with you, please, just take me with you." His voice cracked. His fingers trembled as he pounded on the coffin. The entire crowd stood frozen. No one could move. Not a single person could stop the boy from crying out for his father. The next day, the funeral took place. "I'll visit you every day, Dad," he whispered. "I'll take care of Mom. I'll make you proud." When the first handful of dirt hit the lid, he flinched like it was a gunshot. One day, Tommy said to me, "Michael, do you think Dad knew how much I loved him?" I didn't know what to say. I just hugged him and whispered. He knew, Tommy. He always knew. The noise of the world seemed to quiet. We had cried all the tears we could cry. But in that silence, we understood something powerful. Life gives us no guarantees. Goodbyes should never be taken for granted. As I stand at my uncle's grave today, I think about that train, that journey, and the coffin that finally brought him home. And I realize the real tragedy wasn't just losing James. It was all the words left unsaid, all the hugs we thought we'd give tomorrow, all the moments we thought we'd still have. If you're watching this, call someone you love tonight. Don't wait. Don't assume there's time, because sometimes, the only thing that comes home is the body.